Pregame.com.
Eagles at Dolphins. Miami 3-point home favorites, lined open 3.5, now down to 3. Total open 44, as high as 45 today. This is my best bet. I'm going to step up and give the side and the total because I really like this game. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles getting the 3 points and the over 45. Obviously, the goal is always to get 3.5 when the line's 3. And I've seen Miami at 3 minus $1.15 at some spots. So you could get a little discount on buying the hook. I always do. Just throwing that out there. Bottom line is this. I know the Eagles have disappointed. I mean, any way you cut it, this has been a down year. This is as ugly as it gets for the so-called dream team. But coming off, and forget the line. I think the line's off. My true line has the Eagles a half-point favorite in this game. So according to my numbers, the wrong team's favored. According to the other guys that turn in their numbers for Vegas rankings, that number comes out Miami minus 2.5. So I disagree with 4 very respected odds makers here. But the goal as a professional bettor is to disagree with the odds makers. Obviously, I mean, otherwise I'd be passing on every game. Right. If my numbers were exactly the same as the odds makers, I wouldn't have a bet. So if anything, I'm hoping, but at the same time, you're hoping you're correct, and they're not. I just think besides the line value, this is one of those spots that if this team has any talent at all and has any heart at all, you got to show up for this one. Because they were embarrassed on national TV on Thursday night at Seattle. Not only did Seattle beat them, but all that close-ups of Deshaun Jackson and just all the drama that's unfolded since then, and fired Andy Reid and Dream Team this, Dream Team that. I mean, if this team has any pride at all, they're going to show up. And if they have any talent at all, this is a very winnable game for them. I think this Miami train, this hype, it's getting a little out of hand. They're playing a lot better, don't get me wrong. They're not as bad as they started out the season. But I think, if anything, they were just playing worse than they really were. And now this is more or less the kind of team they should be. I mean, a little better than 4-8, but they're not a 500 team. I don't think they have the talent to be a 500 team. So I'm not really shocked this is their record. I'm just a little surprised at the way it transpired with them losing 5 in a row and now winning all these games in a row. Just the sequence is what surprises me, not their 4-8 record. So I think we're looking at a 4-8 team here. Miami's a 4-8 team. I don't think Philly is a 4-8 team. That's my reasoning behind why I think Philly should be favored in this game. But when you look at Miami, I mean, they've just played perfect to get to where they are. Matt Moore, last 5 games, 64% completions, 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Hey, that's playing perfect. If this team was able to maintain perfection, they wouldn't be sitting at 4-8. That's how I look at it. I just think the hype around Miami isn't warranted, and all the talk about how bad Philly just may be isn't warranted either. Marco always says no team's as good as they looked or as bad as they looked. And right now we're getting a Philly team that's looked as bad as they could possibly look against a Miami team who's looked as great as they could possibly look. I mean, this is the double whammy of double whammies. They just killed Oakland, you know, and Philly just lost on national TV to Thursday. So if anything, it fits perfectly. And then you look at the ATS margin, Philly minus 60, Miami plus 63. Progression, regression. You look at the total, Philly minus 14, Miami minus 54. Out of 12 games, 10 have gone under the total. I think the odds makers adjusted here. I know 45 sounds high, but should be a lot higher when you look at these two teams. Tell me, I know I'm going on and on and on. I'm not excited about this best bet.
Well, I can tell you're definitely fired up about this
I'm
game.
fired up.
You're really fired up.
And I'm not an Eagles fan. Let me, disclaimer, I I booked work, okay? That's your limitations expired. I took work back in Philly. So I was rooting against Philly every single week. I hated the Eagles. So this isn't one of those I'm from Philly, back in my team. I just think this is way off. This line's crazy.
All right. So you're fired up about this game.
Fired up. Fired up.
Man, I think the last time you were this fired up, you mugged some old man for that hat. You take a look at the Eagles. They do have 3 extra days to prepare.
Correct.
And I think the lines maker actually has finally caught up to the Eagles. But this is a good roll for them. They're 11-4 against the spread since 2006 as a road dog. So it's a good situation for them. But you take a look at the Eagles. This is their 3rd road game in 4 weeks. The defense has permitted 30 points to questionable offenses like Atlanta, Buffalo, Chicago, and Seattle. Over. Did you know Miami, 3 of their last 5 games, they've scored 30 points or more.
Over.
And this defense for the Dolphins has been great. They've held every opponent to 26 points or less since week 2. In fact, the last 5 opponents, they scored a combined 54 points. My question to you is, what is the best unit on this team? Is it the Miami defense? Is the Miami defense the best unit in this game?
No.
You think the Philadelphia offense?
Yeah, I do. I do. And here's why. The biggest correlation besides points scored and points against towards wins is pass yards per attempt. Your passing yards per attempt. That's been proven by math guys that are a lot smarter than me, that the correlation to wins, that's the highest. When you look at Philly, their offensive pass yards per attempt is 7.1. It's really good. The problem is, defensively, they're allowing 7.3. Otherwise, this team should not be sitting at 4-8. It's the defense that's the problem for the Eagles. It's not the offense. I think the offense, the Philly offense, is the best unit out there.
I do like the Philadelphia offense. I don't like a lot of the mistakes they make, and they turn the ball over too much.
29 turnovers, the highest in the league.
That's really
the highest
what it
in the
is.
league.
I mean, they can move the ball up and down the field on anybody, but they turn the ball over.
You're right.
And a lot of it is just, it's not random. The Michael Vick and the receivers hold the ball in one hand. You know, they're showboaters.
It's fundamental for
yeah,
sure.
It's all fundamental.
It isn't random.
And to be honest with you, I don't have a play on this game. I think the line is where it should be. I don't want to go against Miami because I think right now, you say they're a 4-8 team. I think Miami's about a 500 team who's just, they didn't get many breaks in the first
No, I agree. I agree. And I give them their they're playing well. They're a confident team right now.
Right.
And from what I've read, you know, going to their blogs and stuff, is they're not tight anymore. You know, when they didn't have a win yet, I mean, they were playing so tight and so scared.
Yes.
You know, practice is tight. The games are tight. You know, you have so much pressure. Now, you ain't making the playoffs. Now, let's have fun, guys. Let's go out there and have fun. And let's ruin some seasons. And what better than to look good? Let's beat the dream team.
But how has that looked for Philadelphia? They haven't been in the playoff hunt for a few weeks.
No, exactly. So, no, they're done. I'm saying this is good for Miami, that they're, you know, this bodes well for them. That
they're playing on found money is basically what you're saying.
And they're having fun. Yeah. And now they have a chance to knock off the dream team, you know, which for me says they're going to show up for this game. But I think Philly's going to show up as well. The better bet may just be the over. You may have just convinced me that the best bet may be the over. You know, and this is a best bet video. But with that said, I do think there's value on the Eagles also. Maybe a teaser, plus 10. Take a 7-point teaser. I know your best value is at 6. But if you could get it to plus 10, I think it's worth the extra big. Philly plus 10, over 37. Damn, I just gave you best bet parlay, best bet teaser, and best bet on the over. And Eagles. Disagree?
No problem with it.
No pizza, no problem. Eagles and over. We'll be back with Brian's best bet. I love this game. Saints, Tennessee. Can't wait to see what he has. You know how I love my Saints.